Cool. I think we're live. Welcome to the 16th episode of Crew Chats. My name is Joe Reitz, and before we get started, today we're going to be talking about Marketo Summit and just tips, tricks, justifications for why you should go, how to plan, all the good, people that have been there, not trying to sell you on attending a conference, but kind of trying to sell you on attending a conference, just because we found it to be massively useful for our own careers. So before we do all that, though, one little bit of housekeeping that's 4 points is if you've missed any of the previous episodes, feel free to check them out on this YouTube channel or preferably in the Marketo community where we post them under the Champ blog. Would love to hear conversation continue there. It's just a very easy medium to be involved and have a conversation. So making community is kind of what it's all about. So do it there. Secondly, we used to have lower thirds. Google Hangouts has kind of changed how they do things, so we don't have lower thirds anymore, but you can reach out to us on Twitter. I think our usernames are generally at our names, maybe an underscore. You'll find us. And I do believe they are on our profiles in the Marketing Nation community. But yeah, with that said, our fun fact of the week is, what is your favorite piece of swag / souvenir from Summit, and what is your favorite memory? My favorite piece of swag is straight up larceny. I stole a pillow. And my favorite memory, I think, I shouldn't share this, but when we kind of snuck the whole crew into the VIP area of the Everstring party, that was probably my favorite thing. So yeah, I'm a horrible human being. I stole a pillow. I snuck the crew into an event. So yeah, Dory, why don't you go ahead?
Okay, so I think there was a joint effort there as to who was responsible for the sneaking in, but we all did it collectively, and that was so much fun. Sorry, Everstring. Good party. Awesome party.
Excellent party. We stole your pillows too.
And we took pictures with your merman.
Only some of us.
Okay. Dory Viscagliosi. My favorite swag that I took home from Summit was when I won $1,000 from Qualtrics. Thanks, guys. Awesome win. And then my favorite memory, there's been a lot, but I would definitely say Shake Shack.
Yep.
Enough said.
That's a crew moment.
Jeff, why don't you go ahead?
Sure. Jeff Krajewski. I'm with Marvel Marketers currently. Let's see, my favorite swag. Honestly, the bag last year, I'm still using it today. It's really slick. It's got nice reflective stripes, and it's got 2 pouches for drink bottles, which is always key. Let's see, favorite memory. Oh, not to use one that you guys have. I'll just say leaderboard. Leaderboard for both the years that I've been to Summit now, in that, number one, it brought a lot of the crew together originally. And number 2, I won it last year, so I get a free ticket back to Summit. So awesome for me.
Yep. And Jules, why don't you go ahead?
So hi, Jules James, Assistant Professor of Marketing at St. Edward's University. Favorite piece of swag was probably my workout top from Pio, the Eat, Sleep, Workout, Repeat. I still wear that when I go to the gym. Yeah, lots of people still like it, which is cool. Favorite memory, probably first meeting you guys. I know it's a bit sappy. Having had a 20-hour delay trying to get over to Vegas, I literally ran to my room, dropped all my bags, ran down to the mixer, and I seem to remember meeting Joe and I think Rachel and Jen, and just kind of beer thrust in hand, and that was it.
That was pretty much, yeah, that was it.
And it's all gone from it. Oh, and also, very quickly, this as well. I know, Joe, you weren't there, and Jeff wasn't there, but this was so much fun. Go to the ice bar.
So, and before we go on, we also have a recurring guest, the wonderful Jess Cow from Digital Pie. So, Jess, go ahead and introduce yourself again and let us know your favorite swag and memory from Summit.
All right, thanks for having me. I'm Jessica Cal. I'm from Digital Pie. And my favorite swag is the workout mat that we got at PIO. So if you woke up super early, they all gave us workout mats to take home. So that was interesting, carrying that on the plane back from Vegas last year. And my favorite memory is probably just meeting people that I've only conversed with over the. I met another champion. Didn't get a chance to meet you guys, but the first time I saw him is like we'd always talked on the phone. I didn't know who he was, and he just gave me a big bear hug. So that's always like a great memory from Marketing Nation. I didn't steal any swag.
There's always this year.
This year we're gonna run around the city, right?
That's right. That's right. We're gonna have some. It wouldn't be a marketing conference, if there weren't some kind of epic shenanigans taking place from the day before through the day after. So stay tuned. But yeah, so with all that said, all the fun pieces aside, Marketo Summit is just really one of the best learning resources for marketers of all stripes. So whether you're a junior level marketer, practitioner of Marketo, all the way like building emails and landing pages, all the way up to mid-level and executive level, this year's conference is especially about it's a marketing conference, not a Marketo conference. And in past years, Marketo's been going this way for a while, but I think this year they've really doubled down the effort in making it more about marketing operations, marketing for any level and function. And you guys can hear Tango, I think. But so in this chat, all we're going to do is kind of talk about some of our best experiences that don't involve petty theft, and try to convey like how you can get the most things out of Summit for you professionally, and how you can prepare, and if you need to, provide some justification to your boss for like why there's value in it other than the fun. So let's start with just an easy one. Let's just go around the thing, and in just one quick soundbite, give us like your number one top tip for getting the most benefit out of the event, out of the conference.
Are we going in the same order?
Yeah, when you see your face on screen, you're up.
That doesn't help because it doesn't show on our side.
Oh, so it's you.
Okay, so I would definitely say to put yourself out there and talk to anyone and everyone. I think that's probably the best thing that I would suggest.
I was actually going to say the same thing, Dory, is the networking factor. Last year in Vegas, they had quite the lines going at certain sessions. So being able to stand there and network with all the other folks, see what their problems are. Don't just talk about, what are you doing? Talk about your issues. You might get some insight.
Yep. Jules?
Okay. I'm a bit of a planner, so I think we're going to go on to that anyway. How do you plan? But with so much going on, plan what you're going to do, because I'd missed half the sessions I wanted to see otherwise, even though the queues, and especially because the queues were so long, I had like selected sessions and then backup sessions if I couldn't get into the ones I wanted to get into. So being able to do that, and yeah, it's always speaking to people. I'm rubbish at networking, but just having that confidence, even just to say hi to one person, do it, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's actually how the crew came together, because we were all alone and none of us really, we just came together over not wanting to network. Yeah. Anyway, Jess.
I think definitely it's really easy, to get caught up in, we've got work back home. You're not going to get up that early to go to the keynote sessions, but it's such a small amount of time. There's a lot of great sessions. So get up, and any doubt, go to the sessions, go to the keynote. I mean, how many amazing keynotes were there in the past couple of years, right? There was Khan Academy, there was Ariana Huffington, there was Hillary Clinton, there was such inspirational speakers. So don't hit the snooze button, get your ass out of bed and get to the keynote sessions and get a good seat, because it's absolutely worth it. So inspirational. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that hits the nail on the head exactly, I think. And to kind of combine both of yours and Jules' points, and something Rachel even said, she couldn't be on today, but she wanted us to mention also what Dory said, just putting yourself out there and outside your comfort zone. And, you meet new people. The whole benefit of Summit is the iron sharpens iron dynamic. And even though several of us on the line are dark-hearted agency types, most people at Summit aren't trying to sell you anything. They're just marketers like you that are dealing with the same kinds of challenges as you, and you can really kind of bond over that, and even honestly do a lot of good networking if that's something you're needing to do for your career. So, with all that said, I think, Jules, I'm going to kick this one to you, at least initially. Like, with planning being such a big component of Summit, how do you plan for, how you want to manage the event?
I used the app that they brought out when they brought out that app. I don't know if they're going to do it again this year, but they did. I just looked at what the overview was of each session and then looked at the app, and I started off by just selecting all the ones I wanted to go to. And then on the app, you had a calendar that showed you what times they were. So it was kind of it was the good old marketing funnel that we like to have. We started off with lots, and I basically funneled it down to the ones that I knew I really wanted to get to. And the beauty of that app was it also then shoved it into my Apple Calendar as well. So I could actually see everything rather than having to go into the app all the time. But look at the ones that you think, plan out the keynotes first, because you have to go to those. If you don't go to those, then that's a big point of going to Summit. And then, just look at the topics. What is relevant to your career? What's relevant to you progressing to the next stage of your career? And how are you going to help get the best practices out of going there as well, that you can actually have that tangible benefit. That's how I did it anyway. So I don't know. I mean, because Jeff also did a really good spreadsheet.
Yeah, that I shamelessly stole and posted on my blog last year. That is basically just Rev Engine does a really good. If you're more old school and don't like the app, it's just a spreadsheet that has, and I'm sure Jeff's going to do it again. So small shout out to Jeff Coveney for just being an awesome marketer in general. But he usually puts out it's just a spreadsheet of like, here's the dates and times that Summit's occurring. Put the sessions you want on it, so you can carry this around on a sheet of paper in your pocket and just say, oh yeah, I'm going here. And to Jules' earlier point, I think Jules said it, have a backup plan, because the thing with Moscone, where Summit's at this year again in San Francisco, the rooms aren't always that big, and some sessions get a bigger draw than others. So like, there's fairly good chance with like 5,000 or 6,000 marketers there, the session you want to attend might be full. So definitely punctuality, arriving early, not just because it's polite, just because you want to make sure you get in. So yeah. What about the rest of you guys? What do you got on planning?
I just reiterate the use of the app is critical. In my opinion, not only does it allow you to join and participate, but you get to see things that people are posting from other sessions, be it images or be it buzz phrases and buzzwords that are being utilized. It's kind of like an internal Twitter. And the app last year, I would love to see that it integrates online, similar to what some other players in the CRM world do. So you can actually plan out online versus having to utilize your mobile device or possibly an iPad. But just a future suggestion. So know that the app is strictly limited to devices like Apple and Android.
I think I always choose at least minimum of 2 sessions. So I have a plan A and a plan B if the other one. So I know, like, on the fly, if my first choice session is full, I know exactly where to beeline to, and I map it all. I have my little map, and I can know the most efficient route to get from one place to the other, because the popular sessions do get booked up pretty fast.
Yeah, I think the only other thing that I can think of is trying, like, there's a lot of different tracks too, right? So like, do you guys like how I've always tried to approach it in the past is like, I want to hear some things that are immediately useful to me, immediately beneficial for my business. I want to hear some things that are just upcoming, like last year was ABM, like upcoming trends and kind of technologies that are going to be kind of like the everything. I think a couple of years ago it was RTP. Before that, it was just like basic lead nurture. So like, what's that for this year? And then, a couple other sessions that might be useful just either career-wise or like, 9 months down the line or a year down the line. What's what kind of approach do you guys have to just picking the sessions you even want to attend?
Go ahead, Jules. I saw we both unmuted.
You go first, it's fine.
Actually raising your hand when you unmute yourself now. Okay, so, you know, I think one thing that's really important, like we've kind of been saying, but is going to something that you think is kind of irrelevant to you, right? It's an interesting, like, opposite, or, you know, it doesn't make sense, but having something that's not related to you that you could actually go back and either speak to more within your organization or, you know, make a suggestion or a recommendation to someone else, you know, if that's helpful. I think that, you know, if you can even share to someone, hey, you should check out this session when they're released, you've now like expanded the value of going to Summit in general for your company.
Yeah.
So
which is a great segue. How do you sell it to your company on like, you know, what justifies the event? And I guess what we should have said at the top of this chat was, if you use the code NATION300, I think until like the 1st, which is what, next Wednesday or Thursday?
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, you get $300 off. So NATION300, and then the price is going up to $17.95, I think. So it's $300 off the current price. And if you don't do it, it's really going to be like $500 more.
Yeah.
Something, I don't know. It's math. I got into marketing because I didn't want to do math. So yeah, but back to the agenda at hand. The question was like, how do you sell Summit to the management? Like, how do you make it something your company is like, yeah, you should do that. You should go.
I mean, Emily Dick actually gave us a really good quote when we asked this in the Champions group, and she's basically said, the reason you want to attend Summit each year is to validate what you're doing is best practice, learn how to enhance what you're doing, and stay ahead of the curve of upcoming trends and platform enhancements. After networking with the best at Summit, you'll be able to quote users, the crew, or people like Josh Hill, and well-known companies to justify your processes, budget, and even make a case for additional headcount. And I think she summed it up perfectly. It's you get best practice, you speak to the industry thought leaders in marketing automation, not just in Marketo, but marketing automation, and you can then go back and say, these are the business processes that I'm going to put in place. When I did it, I went and actually was watching your Game of Clones thing you did last year with the tokens. We went back and immediately started putting all the tokens into our campaigns and using it because it was going to make our cloning much quicker.
My heart just grew to the size of 10 Grinch hearts.
And hopefully your head didn't grow with that ego boost either. But
it's at I'm German. It's at its max size already. Like, that's just what happens.
But yeah, it is. If you can prove that, then why would they not let you go?
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, and we kind of maybe skipped over this part, but like, you're never going to have as many MarTech, like leading pieces of MarTech and solution providers and consultant partners, everything. Like you can, I don't think there's a handful of other events where you can shop around like you can at Summit and compare like an Uberflip to whoever Uberflip competes with, and Vidyard and PFL and Fathom and Digital Pie and Marvel Marketers and, you know, whatever else it.
Rev Engine.
Yeah, well, Jen's not here, so I wasn't going to shout Rev Engine, but you know, like
you just give Jeff credit where credit is due. Come on.
What's that?
You can't just give Jeff some credit where credit is due.
He gets one shout out. That's it.
I just want to add in there that one of the other things is, if you do have the benefit of going with any other team members or someone, you know, from your company, whether they're on your team or otherwise, you know, it's always beneficial for even salespeople to come and see some of the new developments. You know, we've actually a couple summits ago, we actually had someone come out who was not part of the marketing team, just to get that experience and to see what it was all about, that and how it could benefit their team, and that they could leverage it. As you know, we've said, there's so many vendors there. You know, there might be things you're not thinking of that you could get a little insight into. You know, one-stop shopping, as others might say. And it's the kind of thing where if you do have those other team members, though, split the sessions. You know, go to the one that maybe you want, or maybe one that's slightly out of your comfort zone, and the other person can go to the one that you were honing in on, and you can collaborate and share notes. And even, you know, as you do network, hook up with those other people out there, the other marketers at Summit, and get into a team, collaborate, and share notes afterwards, because within this community, you're really going to find that it is a true community.
And one of the things that I do when I return back from Summit is I go through my 25 pages of notes and I summarize, and I actually produce a presentation for all the people in our marketing group.
Yeah.
You know, to one, justify for next year, but also show the value, and hopefully more people will go.
Kind of off the back of that as well, Jessica, again, Rachel's given us another quote. She's been through our Google Docs, which is great. And she said, for basically proving your worth afterwards, make sure that you present at a session 3 to 5 new ideas that can actually relate to your current strategy, and that can be actionable actually within the next few weeks or months. So it's straight away showing that you're going, you're learning, you weren't just partying, drinking, stealing.
Although that happens anyway.
It's going to happen anyway, but you were, as a byproduct, you ended up coming away with some really actionable business stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. If you can prove what you're going to learn, then great.
Yeah. I mean, we joke around a lot about the shenanigans and whatnot, but I mean, I think anecdotally, I think attending a conference like Summit, you know, just for each of us personally, has taken our careers in it's given us a different trajectory than I think we would have had if we didn't ever go. You know what I mean? Like, speaking for me personally, the first year, Jen and I attended and kind of bonded over like something dumb, like in the app leading up to it, there was all this excitement around like, what can we do the day before or the day after Summit, because everybody wants to make like you know, have like a mini overnight vacation out of it if you can. And we hooked up over the idea of like, yeah, let's get a group together, we'll do Alcatraz or something dumb like that, and just take pictures, hang out, grab dinner, go home. But what that blossomed into is the crew you see before you. And, you know, now me, Jen, Jeff, all have the agency jobs of our dreams. You know, anecdotally, I can tell you salary increase from, you know, that first year we were looking at Marketo champions with like starry-eyed, what do you call it? When you're dumbstruck by a celebrity, what's the term? Somebody.
Starstruck.
Yeah, starstruck. Yeah, geez.
Deer in the headlights.
Yeah. So that's how we were looking at champs like Edward Unthank and Josh Hill and all the folks that are like, holy crap, these are people that they've been doing, like they're the people, man. Like they get this. They're thought leaders and all that. And then, you know, fast forward a couple years, and by being involved and kind of just throwing yourself out there, being well outside your comfort zone, you get to realize, and I think Dory has a session that I think just dovetails on this point perfectly that I'll ask her to plug right now. But
what, you mean the session that Jules, me, and Jen are doing?
Yeah. How did
Really?
that get there?
Wow, yeah, that's like what we're doing. And your session? Can I shamelessly plug your session?
Yeah, it's about marketing ops and other stuff that you probably care about.
We're just faking it till we make it. That's all.
Right.
We're gonna take over the world. Practical guide to taking over the world.
Yeah, and I think it's just so perfect that, you know, what was the whole quote, Dory? Like, the things we don't know how to do, we learn by doing them, or something like that. And I think that's
for the things that we must know how to do, must know to do before we can do them. We learn by doing them. Yeah,
and I think that is, you know, Summit is one of those opportunities that, like, you're there, you have the exposure to, you know, like, marketing is not like a celebrity world. Like, you know, we have a YouTube channel and we put our faces on the internet, but like, we're really not that important. Don't tell anybody. But, you know, like, you get to be around the people that, you know, very intelligent people like Jess and well, everybody here, and, you know, kind of get to pick their brains about challenges you're having, and like, you come out of it better than you went in, and that's the whole point. So if it comes down to justification around, you know, how do you prove these things to your boss? Like, those are hard things to kind of talk around, but like, the general thing is just personal, professional growth. You can bring that, you can get that for yourself while you're there. You can bring that back for your team and document it. It's just an immeasurably valuable event. shenanigans all aside.
And just one other thing to mention for those people that are a little newer with Marketo, there is a University Day, which is the day before the actual summit starts. I believe it's Sunday of this year. It does have additional costs, but I have gone the past 2 years and found it very valuable. You get a lot of insight from the product specialists with Marketo into their products and how they can be used. Things like ad bridge or otherwise, the calendar or other particular parts of the Marketo product set. So it can be valuable, and for teams that are a little newer in the space, I would highly recommend that.
Well, cool. We've got a few minutes left. What other general tips or aside from packing light, maybe that's something else we want to hit on, but like what other tips you guys have for Summit new attendees?
Make sure you make the most of the parties. I know it sounds really stupid, and I'm not a big drinker, but you spend all that time, you spend from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. You could be sitting in sessions the whole time. So take the time to wind down. You're there to meet people, and you're not going to network as well when you're sat next to someone in a presentation because you can't speak to them. So go to, and we got the chance to, there was clubbing in Hakkasan and going to the Ice Bar and going to Whiskey Down. Just you go to these places you wouldn't normally go to. You're in a city that maybe you might not normally visit, and go and just meet people and have fun, because that's how the relationships form. It's not, when you're in business, you're still a human being, so do that afterwards as well. So yeah, as a get part of the crew nanigans. As a who just put that?
Jeff.
That was me.
Yeah. It is. There is shenanigans, but the whole point is you're winding down as well as networking. So, and there's some good parties that you'd get to go to.
And I think the RSVPs start coming out. They should be coming out here soon. And I think I want to say the app usually comes out about a month ahead of the event, so it should be sometime in March, right?
Yeah. It's all happening quite quickly. We've got 2 months? 2 months today, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not in shape for that 5K. It's not going to go well.
You better start running.
And the other thing that I want to point out too is they do have what they call the Revy Awards. So pay attention to those teams, and if there's any materials that they have out there that you can get information from or learn from, that's usually critical. I can just speak as being part of the Marketing Masters Marketo Team of the Year for the enterprise level last year. I've got my sweet jacket here, and I know Joe's got his, but I'll just attest to the fact that being part of that team and that experience and having the ability to say that you were part of a Marketo winning team is awesome. Yeah,
and I think just to tack onto that, like it unfortunately it's too late to enter into the Revies. Marketo's already making the decisions, but like Jeff said, pay attention to who's winning and see if you can network with them, because the folks that are winning, like the Team of the Year and the Stackmaster and the Rebel and those kinds of awards, those are the people, especially in the case of the Rebel, that are pushing the envelope with Marketo. So like try to learn from like what did they do that was cool, and how do I do that in my business? And I think that's where all three of us live from the agency standpoint, is like, how do we make that success repeatable? And you as a Summit attendee is the exact same question. How do I make that success repeatable for me in a way that I can take all the credit, and no one's going to know who won that Revy back in my company, but I'll know, but everyone's going to think it's me. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the two Revy winners plugging their wins. I see what's going on here.
No, I'm just saying, like, my win was silly. Like, it's just the champion thing. Jeff's win is legitimate. But like, I'm specifically trying to tee up like
how illegitimate Joe actually is.
Yes, that. And but you can learn a lot from people that know what they're doing, and I think that's all I wanted to say.
And one thing I just want to add is people are really friendly. I think what's different about Summit and from the other conferences is that we really genuinely just want to help people, because we were all there completely lost and no clue what we were doing in Marketo in the beginning. But I think you can just probably go up to anyone and talk to them, and they would probably offer to help you. I think the Marketing Nation, what's unique about it is that we're all really supportive of each other. And I think I was so impressed by just kind of the spontaneous like certification study groups that popped up last year, which was awesome. I thought that was so great.
Yeah. And if nothing else, certainly everybody on this call, you can come up to any of us. We do want to hang out with all of you, chat about your instances, just talk about just what it's like being a marketer in 2017. So I'm eyeing the clock. Does anyone else have anything they want to pass before we shut this down?
Get your plane tickets, get your suitcases, get your running shoes. We're going to San Francisco.
Bring an extra bag for swag.
Yeah, or a really big
Extra room
duffel.
for swag.
Yep, yeah, definitely pack light because you will come home with like 36 t-shirts and other stuff. Maybe a pillow. I don't know.
You may have to leave the pillow behind because you've got too much other swag.
No pillow gets left behind, Dory. Let's make this clear right now.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's all we got for this week. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Crew Chats. We'll be back in 2 weeks, and take care.